Good afternoon. It is Monday, December 12th, and I'm in the barn with critters eating their food. I have not posted in quite a while, and I think a lot of that is because I get a little bit behind, and then I find it hard to get caught back up, and I start feeling overwhelmed, and I get so much video and so many clips, and then I'm like, oh, I just don't have the time. And this summer it was very hard to find the time. I don't know how people who have larger homesteads than I do find the time to put out daily videos. I can hardly even do weekly, but I am gonna try to improve, and I'm gonna try to figure out some systems to get myself on a schedule or something like that. I'd like to do at least one a week. But it is winter time. There's a lot less to video this time of year as far as outside in the garden, but there's some stuff inside, things and projects I can work on. So I'm going to try to pick up. I was determined that I was going to do all of my videos in chronological order and not skip around. But if I try to do that, I'll just never start again, because the last one I put out was from July, and here it is December. So if I'm going to start doing videos again, I might as well just start with the current ones. And over the winter, I always miss my garden. So if you're the type that misses your garden during the winter time too, then for both of us, I'll throw in some of the garden shots from this summer every once in a while, just as a nice little pick-me-up and reminder that spring will be here again, hopefully soon. But in the meantime, I'll be planning next year's garden, possibly planning for a wedding in next year's garden. So things are going to get rearranged out back in preparation for that, and things will be planted specifically for that. That'll be interesting to see whether or not I succeed in that. Hopefully I succeed well enough. But anyway, so hopefully we'll also have some help from my family that lives in the area to help me get as much done as we need to for the wedding and for our family's food preserving and things like that. They've enjoyed very much the meals that have been raised and grown primarily on our property with very little, if any, inputs from the grocery stores or outside sources. Doesn't happen very often because we haven't raised or grown a substantial amount to preserve over the winter. So of course we're still utilizing the grocery store on a regular basis at this point. But our goal is to shift the balance towards more of our homegrown, home-raised, and home-preserved food. So luckily they're starting to get on board with that, I believe. And so we'll be working on that. So in the meantime, it is winter in Michigan. We've had a little bit of snow off and on. Right now there's no snow on the ground. Not sure if we even have any in the forecast before Christmas. So Juniper may not get her first Christmas as a white Christmas, but we'll see. I ran out of cat food. Gave him the last of it yesterday. So today I figured this would make a good breakfast for the cats. The younger cats are holding back. There's one right under there. Not sure where Lucky took off to. But Patch here, she can be a little mean, especially when there's real meat involved. So they're kind of holding back, waiting for her to finish eating what she wants to eat before they come and check it out. Who is that? Oh, there's Lucky. Hi, Lucky. And there's Tess. Hi, babies. Yeah. There's Dottie. My husband's working on a project. And going in and out from the patio and garage into the living room, where he's putting up some wood in our living room to eliminate our all primer white painted walls. Here's the hoofed crew. Jack, hiding behind that pole doesn't hide very much of you. No being camera shy this morning, bud. There you are. You're a muddy mess, aren't you? Yes, you are. Sammy. And Super Steve over here. Hi, bud. So cute. And Miss Georgia over there. They had their round bale over here and completely flattened it out and turned it into bedding. I have not had the best of luck finding some alfalfa clover bales. Obviously not 100%. Everything's going to have a little bit of grass in it, but I would like more alfalfa clover than grass. So I'm still looking for a good source. In the meantime, Jack's not hurting for calories. He's still got his chunky chest. I'll quit picking on you, Jack. Super Steve butting heads with Georgia. Yeah, that goat is not afraid of anything. And Sammy and Jack sharing their feed pan nicely. Everybody has a feed pan. There are 4 of them. But it's kind of funny. Jack never used to share before Beauty passed away. Beauty and Sam used to share a dish. And because Steve won't share with Sammy. And once Beauty passed away, Jack started sharing with Sam. It was kind of sweet. For their feed, I switched, in the wintertime, I switched to basically wild bird feed, and then I might supplement with something, which this year I've been supplementing with wheat. The bird seed I was using had a bunch of ground up corn in it, and this loose stuff here is the corn that keeps getting left in the bottom of the tray, and I dump it out. They're not fans of corn. Then I've been trying to soak their feed, and a lot of what's in here is the wheat berries, so When it was dry, they ate a lot of the wheat berries, but I'm seeing that after being soaked, they aren't. And I don't know if that is because they've been able to come out here and vary their diet and have a lot more available to them to eat, so they're being pickier. So once I finish with that section, I may try again with the wheat and see what happens. Just a little side note, even the wild birds don't like the cracked corn in the bird seed. I just refilled this, but before I did, I looked in there and all you could see on there was the cracked corn. That was it. And so I dumped out the cracked corn and put in some fresh. But that is a lot of what gets left on the ground. But we got this all filled back up, and this is what's left of the wild bird seed with the cracked corn in it. It's just what I have in a bucket up here at the house for the wild birds. What I will probably end up doing is finishing that out with these guys, and then bringing some of the wild bird seed without the cracked corn up to the house for them and see if they like that better. I would love to get a bird feeder like we used to have at my mom and dad's, where you fill in the whole center part and there's a tray on either side, and as they eat it just fills the tray on the other side. They don't do an awful lot of picking out of the holes. They usually just eat out of what comes out the bottom. And this has a thistle feeder on the other side, and that's literally all they've eaten out of that this whole fall and coming into winter. So I don't have a lot of thistle eaters, but they do eat out of the little apple gourd feeder. And so I'd like to get a couple more bird feeders out here just because I enjoy it. One of these days I'll wash my kitchen windows so they're all nice and clear, and I don't have to look through the icky dirty windows to see my bird friends flying around. Anyhow, one more chore done. Looks a whole lot different now than it does during the summer when this is all covered in foliage and looks like a little jungle for them. But anyway, couple things. I put up the chicken poultry net a few days ago, and I've had that out here in the garden area for them to kind of come along and clean things up a little bit. They're doing a great job. I didn't mind if they went after this Swiss chard because we had a snowstorm earlier this year and it pretty much took it out. It was all kind of hung over and limp. So if they want to eat that up, that's more power to them. They've cleaned up the comfrey for the most part, and they're scratching up and doing their thing around the grapevines, so that should help the grapevines next year. What I'll do when I move the fence and it's not around this anymore, I'll rake a lot of this back in around the bottom of the grapevines to make sure that they're nicely mulched for the winter. But anyway, so yeah, they're scratching around in here. They're getting some green stuff, which they haven't been able to get for a little while, and just doing their general work of fertilizing the garden. Thanks for catching up with me, and maybe I can sneak a little bit of summer beauty from the garden in here with this little update, just to give people a little pick-me-up. All right, catch y'all later. Y'all have a fabulous day. Bye. a day that I was going out and about and doing things, I never could have gotten my hair to do that. But on a day where all I'm doing is going home, staying home, doing chores, sure, have a great hair day that day. Isn't that typical?